And we're back with the commentary to our recent Africa Rising podcast. Welcome, viewers, to another episode with myself, Dr. Sheri Tomlin, and our distinguished gentleman, Mr. Kenneth Mohammad. Welcome, my co host, Kenneth Mohammad.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Are we going according to plan on your?
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. Brother Kenneth Mohammad, we just spoke with the wonderful Queen to the World, Queen Ayasudabeth, who is so talented, so, remarkable in the work that she's doing. What was your thought?
She's definitely full of information, full of information. And I think about what I said earlier about just paying attention. Um, the the motion is the very first thing that starts with anything. Mm-hmm. We start in motion, and then after motion has to come order. Motion without order is called chaos. So paying attention, it allowed me to listen and then place things in its proper order. And as I continued to listen to her, the order started coming out. And it's great because if you remember towards the end of her commentary, she started talking about the mind, having to get that mind up and out. That's what I said in my commentary about thinking, critical thinking, because the mind will wake the body up, but the mind itself has to be awoken first. And with the information she shares, that you share, that we share, it wakes the mind up, going through the ears of the people.
Most definitely. Yes. So we want to have empowerment. So that has to start with economic independence, right? So we should be promoting natural foods, locally grown foods, like Queen Ayasudabeth was saying.
Correct. Yeah.
To support our African sellers. So it's important that we create sustainable streams that could uplift families and entire communities across Africa and around the world. So this could boost local economies on the continent while also, preserving our cultural heritage as well. So that the work Queen Ayasudabeth is doing, the work that we're doing, it's more than just commerce. It's about reclaiming our identity. And we have to use this as a foundation for economic growth because there is a way that we do things, right? And there's a way that other people do things. That's their system. And we need to get back to our system. When I was growing up in Jamaica, people would knock on your door. Can I borrow some salt and pepper? So we would borrow and lend. We had consignments. We have our own system, and we need to. We see now that certain systems don't work. There's certain key stakeholders that won't allow others to, be part of the process or to be recognized or to be, allowed to use their bring on board their ways of doing things. So there's no room for us, but we can do our own thing. And this is where the space we're in now.
Yes. In my personal opinion, like Karina sort of said, in my book, which is my personal opinion, not that I have a physical book that I've written, but my book is the personal opinion. I like that. We really don't know the job that has been done on us as a people. And I'm talking the so-called African American, and I'm talking Africans, I'm just talking Black people and or people of color. We don't know the job that has been done on us. Before you can reclaim, you have to come into the knowledge has happened. Um, I can't go replaying my car that's been repoed if I don't even know car. So this is really important, just to communicate. And this right here, everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. So therefore, when Queen said lying is one of the things, that alone, and we start believing the lie as truth. So I can only talk about African Americans here in America. We thought their water was wetter than our water. We still think that today. We thought their ice is colder than our ice because we was lied to. Now, you get people all the time, well, that was in the past. Okay, yes, it was in the past. But I can show you the past is still present. It's just dressed in 2024 versus 1813 or whatever, So information is powerful. And Queen Suruba has said, because she didn't say it in these words, but I understood this, creating the internet, it broke down a lot of walls that now we're able to communicate. And even with that, they try to take over the social media so that they can control the social media, which is fine. But then you have, I'm not promoting TikTok, but then TikTok is not controlled by America. So we have everything we need. We just need our minds. Exactly. And we need to understand that we don't have our mind. We was gonna talk about culture. We never got to it. We did talk about health. Me personally, I always said that African American culture is a culture that developed out of slavery. So whose culture is that? That to me, the African American culture is a culture that was produced from the results of us being slaves. That's an oppressive culture then, because an oppressor created the culture, the environment for us to survive. So when I was, in search of knowledge, young, 14, 15, 16, 17, my mom used to make me watch Roots by Alex Haley, my sister and I. And I would always wonder why, going back to that question, why do we have to go through this? What I also realized is I want to know history prior to slavery. What were we doing as Black people before slavery started? They would tell you we was running around in the jungle with bones in our nose, swinging on trees. Now, would I want somebody running around in the jungle, bones in our nose and swinging on trees to come and build my house? Well, if we was that dumb, why'd you take us to build your country?
Right.
Evidently, something don't add up there. Again, just collecting data, doing the calculation and say, okay, this ain't making sense. So and again, I'm only speaking of African Americans. However, me on the outside looking in, or even looking in, I understand that just didn't happen to us. We got the worst part of it, but the colonization of Africa as a continent, I'm not even talking about the countries, the colonization of Africa is still there. The remnants of it is still there. The culture of it is still there. And so we don't have to separate from the colonizer. We just got to unite with self. The opposite of separation is unity.
Right. So, Brother Kenneth,
I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this question. So how does the original people who were the reason why these colonizers exist. Okay. We were here, and then because of different, I probably should say mutations, or, series of events where their skin is, similar to albino, their complexion, we started getting these different complexions. Um, yeah, how does that happen? How do we allow that to exist? And for them to tell us what was true is not true, and they introduced their own truth, and and we believed it for so long. So now we're at the point where, like you said, social media is allowing more people to have the knowledge and the truth that it was us that's in the Bible. It's us that was here, as the first humans on earth. It was us. But we have decades and centuries of believing something else. So not only that, but how does now these people that exist because of us, right? Now they realize they don't have nothing. How do they go from having nothing to unifying and coming together, entering the place where the people have everything, right? And just like taking whatever they want and suppressing everybody, oppressing everybody, and, being such a, you know, brutal force on this planet, becoming, rising to that point. And we sit back and allow this, and, go along with this. And tell me your perspective about this.
Fear is the number one tool that's used to control. Fear. You know, who stands up to a category one hurricane? Or what stands up to a category one hurricane? What stands up to a flood? Those are all powers. Tornadoes. Do you see the government shooting atomic bombs at a tornado to stop it? We don't know the power of our minds. We have to open our ears up. Queen Suruba, she, when we first started talking outside the podcast, and she does breathing exercise. Breathing is oxygen. Oxygen is needed. I didn't even realize, not just by her, but even before, that we don't even know how to breathe. Think about that. We just breathe to survive, just to get some air, but we really don't know how to breathe, which would cause your brain to even explore more than what it is. So you asked the question, how, like this podcast, and not only just us, send in questions, ask to be on the podcast. We want yours. You don't have, I'm not a star. I'm just like you. I do what I do. So we need unity. We need input, because again, it's not about stopping the oppressor. It's about starting the freedom thinkers. You understand what I'm saying? There's always an opposite to everything. There's a duality. Go towards the duality that's not oppressive to you, that makes you like, wow, interesting. You know what? I want to know some more about that. It's been a long time, but it's purposeful though. Everything that happens is very purposeful, and you need to find out the purpose. We need to find out the purpose. And that's not an easy thing to do when we get caught up in our emotions. I experience that, we all do.
But
Go
we
ahead.
took we took so long to get to this place. Now our own people are fighting each other and acting like colonizers, and you know, we were pretty diverse to begin with, and now we have the sellouts. We have, just like Queen Isudabeth was saying, we have these now new challenges compounding the fact that uh, we have to unify, and we took so long to figure this out. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that only, to me, that's only going to make you, it's only going to make you or break you. You asked me the question, what keeps you going? It's a time of separating the sheep from the goats. You know what I'm saying? Um, everybody's not going to make it, and it's okay. Everybody has a job to do. It's okay. The oppressor has a job to do. The sellouts, they have a job to do, and it's all a test. And when you look at it that way, then you focus more on what you're supposed to be doing versus being distracted with what they are doing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because, like Queen Asuba said, they're after our minds, period. But what's so valuable of our minds that you got to keep oppressing it? I seen this in order. I can't. Toni Morrison. She was in an interview, and she said, "If I got to get on my knees so that you can be taller than me, then I'm not doing that." And if we would only just stand up, we'll realize. And what I mean by stand, I'm not talking physically stand up, but mentally, spiritually stand up. Stand up from what? What they have put you in. Like Queen Asuba said, there are things that they have in place to keep us down. Holidays. Let's just go with the holidays. Name any one of them from any religion. It's like, really? Seriously? Before what's the last holiday here in America? And I can only speak of America, but I know some, very little. But they got us going in this 12-month cycle, this 12-month circle. And some countries have 13 months. And it's just a vicious, vicious, vicious cycle and circle. And we just gotta say, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the Christmas. I'm done with the whatever holidays. I'm done with all that. Because that's my grandmother did that, my great grandmother did that. You know, at a certain point, every day should be not a holiday, but a holy day.
There you go.
That was turned into a holiday.
There you go.
As you know, shout outs to Martin Luther King, but I want a day before we were slavery, before we were slaves. What days were those? That's what we need to get back to. So it is a job, but the youth out there need to hear and need to come on board, and let's just talk. Let's communicate. Common unity. Community. Let's just communicate.